Sucker punch somebody on a sidewalk, carjacking old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool, act a fool if you like. Cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough? Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend.
This ain't right. We had all this meat, we worked hard to get it in the freezer, process it, package it. The next day they came with a search warrant, went through everything, house, every building in the barn. They just raided through everything. We can't touch it, we can't sell it, we can't feed our family, we can't give it away, can't feed it to dogs, we can't do anything with it. They just took it to the dump. You have to keep going because people are depending on this stuff as their medicine. I want this world to have the opportunity of finding real food.
You're about to hear the story of how a small-town Amish farmer's world was turned upside down by the government of Virginia. Town Hall spoke with that cattle farmer, Samuel Fisher, the owner of Golden Valley Farms. Since the state raided his farm, Samuel has been criminally charged. His products, which feed about 500 customers and their families, were seized and hauled to the dump, and his meat sales have been shut down. Samuel and his family are Amish farmers. Out of respect for his religious tradition, we're adhering to his wishes to keep his face and family off camera as much as possible for this interview. This is Samuel's story in his own words. Can you just tell me more about Golden Valley Farms and its origin?
We started about 5 years ago. We bought the herd of cows with the business, with the customer base, basically just selling milk. We started doing cream, yogurt, other stuff because people were asking for it. And then along with that, we pretty soon started with meat. When we put up this building, we were not planning on processing meat ourselves. We were doing it a little bit for our family, but we were not planning to do it for our customers. And then we decided we're going to do some USDA inspected because I knew that is technically, to a lot of people's minds, is more legal. So I decided we're going to send it to the USDA facilities, have it slaughtered, butchered there, and bring it back, put it in the freezer and sell that. So now we had two options available. We did sell some of the USDA meat, but it was slow. It was very obvious the customers do want the meat that is processed here on the farm and no USDA inspection. And after the state was here, it was interesting. I told the office manager to do a survey from the customers if they want me to send our animals to USDA and have it USDA inspected, or if they want me to process it here myself. The survey came back around 92% of the customers wanted me to process here on the farm, sell it right here off the farm.
What are the costs to take it to the nearest facility, and how far away would that be?
That's around 2 hours of driving, and the cost to take it over there is a lot. It depends if you can do a lot at one time. If you can do a trailer load at one time, say 4 cows and 5 pigs or something like that, cost for all that would probably be $500, but it's hard for us to ship so many animals at one time, process all those, bring the meat back, and have that in stock. By the time the meat comes back, you might be running low on certain cuts of meat, but what you ordered from USDA was not accurate to that. You might run out of some stuff long before other stuff because you had to order it so far in advance. Plus then the pandemic came, and then you had to schedule your animals around 8 to 12 months ahead of time. Well, that was super hard to predict so far ahead how much I actually need to process. At that time, pandemic came, stores weren't open, stores were running out of food, customers were starting to buy heavily. All of a sudden, we had a lot of need for meat. Well, there was no option taking it to USDA facility, so that's when the trigger pushed to do it ourselves. Customers were buying mostly from our own meat, not so much from the USDA. Then the pandemic came and there was no other option but either not have it available or process it ourselves. So we started processing ourselves. We put addition to the building and made a processing room, and we certainly like it now. Then the state came in and asked what we're doing, and I told them exactly what we're doing. We're selling meat to our customers, and they said, no, there's no way around it. You can't do that. They asked permission to get in here. I did not give them permission to come in here, and they told me we'll be back and left. The next day they came with a search warrant, went through everything, house, every building in the barn. They just raided through everything, put their nose in everything, and wanted to know every detail of everything. It went out back, trying to find all the failure they can find on a farm, which of course, some of their stuff, which they think is wrong, it's just normal stuff on a farm. They were here for like 3-4 hours. I wasn't on the farm at the time. And then they tagged the meat so that we can't touch it, we can't sell it, we can't feed our family with it, we can't do anything with it. To me, that was quite wrong, that we can't feed our family with it, or at least give it to people. I even made a special phone call to ask him again if that's the way it is. He said, yes, you cannot feed your family with it, you cannot do anything with it. I decided, this ain't right. We're gonna feed our family, we're gonna feed our customers. We did not honor that tag. We sold the meat. We sold some meat out of there, whatever customers ordered. Then the state came back and they saw what we did. Really gave me a mouthful for doing that. But basically what they did was they took it to court. They took a lot of pictures of whatever they could here at the farm to find evidence that we're slaughtering and selling raw meat, and took it to court in order to seize the product and put it in the dump. Later that day, they came out here with the U-Haul truck, backed it right up here to the door, and took 2 men 4 hours to get it out. And they just loaded it on a U-Haul truck and took it out to a dump and dumped everything out. And they got all the meat except pet food and wild game packs of ground turkey. But everything else they took. After the warrant, they had it tagged that we can't do anything. We can't take any meat out, we can't feed our family, we can't give it away, can't feed it to dogs, we can't do anything with it.
How does that make you feel if you can't even feed your own family with your own meat?
If we're allowed to do it or not, we definitely will. Anybody can go and raise animals for their own family to eat. That's where I got to the point. He crossed the lines, so I'm gonna cross the lines. He crossed the lines by telling me I cannot feed my own family with this meat. So I decided I'm going to cross the lines, I'm going to sell it. That's why I didn't honor the state.
How has this affected your daily operations and your family at large?
It definitely affected us because all of a sudden we weren't selling meat, and that really put my sales down, and then we started selling again. So we've been selling meat for a few weeks, and then they came out and took everything, and we had to quit again. So it just takes some time before we got the stuff stocked back up. We don't have the cash flow coming in. We had all this meat. We worked hard to get it in the freezer, process it, package it, stack it in there to sell and bring income. And here comes the state and puts everything in their truck and takes it to the dump, pays us nothing for it. So that definitely affects our income, and we do have a big struggle to pay our bills right at the moment. But we are stocking the freezer back up and trying to get back on the normal as soon as possible.
What do you think prompted the government to target you now, since I believe you've been doing this for years?
I have no idea. I really have no idea, except maybe they just finally found us through word of mouth. We had no customers getting sick. I mean, that was the first question I had. Is anybody getting sick? Is any customers angry at you? We had nothing of any such, so we really don't know where it came from. We had emails from a customer. She had a sick dog and she was buying store-bought meat. Her dog could not do well with it. It just got sick. So she started buying ground turkey from our farm, and her dog was doing better. She sent me an email. She don't know what to do. Do you know of somebody else that I can find raw turkey lean meat is what she needed for her dog. I didn't know where to tell her to find it, so I was just like, this ain't good, we're gonna sell it. So I had a whole bunch of emails from our customers that they were basically writing a letter to the judge. They were basically writing to the judge their view of opinion. Keep on going, you're doing the right thing, you're selling good quality food, you have to keep going because people are depending on this stuff as their medicine because they buy food at the store and their children or somebody gets sick and their diseases get worse, and then they started buying my food and their diseases were going away. Now if I stop, they can't get this food anymore. They got no option but go to the store for food, and their diseases are going to get worse.
Can you tell me more about who your customers are, how many there are total?
I mean, wow. If I would have to guess, I would probably say 500.
Why do they go to you over big box retailers?
Oh, because it's a huge difference. If you go to the store, you don't know what's in your food. For instance, I was told not long ago from a guy who used to work somewhere that he happened to see this. They got whole carcasses of animals. They ship them in. They are partly rotten. They kind of stink a little bit. And then they dip them in strong chloride, whatever it is, preservative. I don't know much about what it is, but they dipped it in something. And they brought it out and the meat looked red, pink, just like it'd be fresh. And they process that and they send it to the stores and send it off to the people. They don't care if people get sick or what happens because you can't track it. If you buy stuff from a store, you can't track where it comes from. If you buy food from a farm, go to that farmer, ask the farmer, you want to see your animals, you want to see the farm, you want to know where your food comes from. You do have the full rights to ask for that. If you're not given it, take it as a warning. If you can go to the farm, you can pretty well see how it's run, and you can pretty soon get a sense from a farmer if he is trying to have everything chemical free, grass fed, or if he's trying to do it the cheap ways. I want this world to have the opportunity of finding raw, real food, as I've seen what you're buying at the store. Our oldest son was having food allergy issues. When we started to do more research, and we found out 100% grass-fed, A2A2, milk from Guernsey cows. We found out all those benefits because we believe the healthier your animal is, the healthier the people are who drink this milk or meat or products, whatever comes from these animals. One other thing was soy. Soy is a cheap product. Processors use soy in almost any food they make because it's cheap. And now people are having soy allergies. We raise our chickens with no soy, sell our eggs as chemical-free, soy-free. They think everything has to be under their jurisdiction, how things are processed, but they like control. At the same time, I do believe they are, in some sense, do care about sanitation in how their foods are processed. So I do think in one sense they are trying to take care of their customers, but they do not have the experience or the education of chemicals, GMOs, and stuff that the way the modern day processes things is not healthy for your body. And they do not seem to care or believe in that. To come out here and see it done in a small way with no inspection, for some reason they don't like that. I don't really know why they should care too much if it don't go out to the public. If it just goes to my membership, they like to have jurisdiction over everything they possibly can.
What would your message be to readers about your story? Why are you passionate selling your meat for your farm?
Well, my biggest passion to sell meat like this is because the people want it, and because I know what's in the store. I know the way we can process it with no chemicals and everything's safe and healthy. Raw meat, I know the benefits we get from our family by feeding our family with it, and I feel bad for the people that don't have that opportunity. If I think about the government, how they come and treat me, definitely I'm worried. But at the same time, I felt huge customer support the last month. So because of the huge customer support, I know I got support here. I know I got people who will stand with me to help me find a way that we can process food the way we want it.